There's a lot of rumors surrounding the WWE World title right now, so we'll take a look at the rumored return for the World Heavyweight title, Trish Stratus, and much more. Let's start things off with this brief report on the World Heavyweight title's return to WWE television. This report comes from Dan Beltzer, who's been around in the community for a while and has lots of insiders within the world of championship titles. According to Dan, he says that he heard that there were strong pitches made within WWE during early 2022 for the classic Big Gold World Heavyweight title to make its return to television and replace Roman Reigns' Universal title, which would put the Universal title into retirement and have Roman continue his title reign with the classic World Heavyweight title. But for whatever reason, the plans and pitches didn't make it out that far and eventually fell through the cracks. He said that Vince McMahon was reportedly trying to get a new unified title done and created in time for WrestleMania 40 in 2024. But there hasn't been many updates to that rumor because Vince McMahon would end up retiring in July 2022, but would rejoin the company several months later, and now his WWE creative status is a big mystery. So no one knows if his original plans for the new unified title at WrestleMania 40 is still in place, or if plans have changed since a new regime took over. We did previously go over the new report that Triple H did recently approve the creation of a new unified WWE title. So maybe Vince's original vision of the new WWE title being ready in time for WrestleMania 40 is still a very likely possibility. But that's the latest there for the news and rumors regarding the WWE World titles. The classic World title was close to making its return in 2022 for the first time since 2014, but they ultimately decided to stick with the Universal title. But the rumors of the Universal title getting retired sometime in 2023 in placement for the new unified title is continuing to gain momentum and buzz. So maybe that is something we can see real soon. Now let's get back into things with Trish Stratus, Becky Lynch, Lita, and Damage Control. Becky Lynch and Bayley's feud dates back to the weeks of SummerSlam 2022, where Becky Lynch would end up getting written off of television thanks to an attack from Bayley and Damage Control. Becky Lynch would end up returning to action at War Games and would pick up that feud with Bayley that's still going on in current day. The main theme of this story from November to early 2023 was how Becky Lynch was just simply outnumbered by Damage Control. It was always 3-on-1 attacks, and no matter how great Becky Lynch is, she just can't simply win those fights where she was just so heavily outnumbered. But what started happening? Well, Becky Lynch started receiving Hall of Fame help out of nowhere. First, Lita made her return to WWE and assisted Becky Lynch in fighting off Bayley and Damage Control. But there was one big problem. They were still outnumbered, 2-3. So fast forward a few weeks after that, and Becky Lynch and Lita's prayers are answered. Trish Stratus ends up making her return to fully balance out the odds against Bayley and Damage Control and make it a fair 3-on-3 situation. But after Trish Stratus returned, there were several reports that a big unexpected twist was coming for this entire storyline. And everyone's first guess was that the big twist was a heel turn from Trish Stratus, especially with other reports claiming that Trish Stratus versus Becky Lynch was allegedly set for SummerSlam. That only seemed to confirm everyone's suspicions that a Trish Stratus heel turn could be a part of the plans to start the feud. So that's been the popular rumor and fan theory over the last few weeks, and a segment from the WrestleMania edition of Raw just heavily hinted at that direction once again. This moment went down during the Miz's Miz TV segment with Becky Lynch, Lita, and Trish Stratus. The Miz planted the seed for the story when he asked Trish and Lita about why they would make their returns only to play backup to Becky Lynch. Lita answered the question, pointing out how she's holding WWE Championship gold, and doesn't feel like a backup at all. But Trish Stratus, on the other hand, did not answer the question about being a backup to Becky Lynch, and she remained absolutely quiet on the topic. So it was one of those storytelling moments that was very subtle, and you may have missed it if you weren't paying close attention. But Trish's silence on the topic in question actually speaks volumes about what could be going on in the character's mind and what she's about to pull on Becky Lynch. Lita says that there's no problem with her current role, but it definitely seems like Trish has a problem with Becky Lynch and how everything is playing out. And this is a theory we talked about and covered over the last few weeks. But Trish's main issue could possibly turn out to be exactly what The Miz said. Maybe Trish Stratus just feels like she's been in the shadows of Becky Lynch, playing backup to Becky, and not getting the attention that she believes she deserves from the fans and everyone else as a WWE Hall of Fame member with a legendary career dating back to the early 2000s. Maybe she feels disrespected and feels like all this attention is going to Becky Lynch. And maybe she doesn't like how Becky's being seen and portrayed as the leader of their little temporary faction heading into Wrestlemania. Maybe these are all things that have been on Trish's mind and have been boiling up over the last few weeks. Maybe Trish does like Becky Lynch, but maybe she doesn't feel like Becky has quite the career accomplishments that she has. So, Trish doesn't feel like she should be taking a backseat to Becky Lynch. And this, of course, will lead to Trish Stratus's jealousy towards Becky Lynch, eventually imploding, which brings us to Trish's heel turn attack on Becky Lynch. And telling by the story's direction and the seeds that they've planted, just like the question from The Miz, it appears like that's the direction they're going in after all. Trish Stratus's main reason for turning heel on Becky is going to be something along the lines of her not enjoying playing second fiddle to Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is in the prime of her career and already appears to be on her way of becoming a Hall of Fame member. But Trish is still going to believe that she should have been the one leading this little faction herself because of her own career accomplishments. The wild card in this situation is basically Lita. Like Lita said on Raw, she's champion. She doesn't feel like she's playing backup to Becky Lynch. She's happy with her role with Becky. But we do know that Lita has a much deeper friendship with Trish Stratus. So if Trish Stratus brutally turns on Becky Lynch, where exactly does Lita's loyalty lie at? Will Lita side with her longtime friend, Trish Stratus, and agree with her that Becky Lynch was hogging the spotlight? Or will Lita actually side with her current tag team partner, Becky Lynch, and believes that Trish Stratus is wrong for doing that to Becky? Both options are strong possibilities for Lita. She can turn heel too, and be on Trish's corner for this rumored SummerSlam match with Becky Lynch. Or Lita can even stand in Becky Lynch's corner opposite from Trish at SummerSlam. So definitely keep a close eye on Trish Stratus because something about taking a backseat to Becky Lynch could be bothering her, and that could implode at any given moment. So we may definitely see Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus real soon in the near future. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.